Jeremiah was a prophet that the Lord had called to go into places and test the strength of others, test the validity of the sanctification of others, test others for impurities by challenging them and bringing about conflict and disorder. And even if Jeremiah did not necessarily like being the one that was used for the conflict or like other people's reactions to the truth, he still stood 10 toes down on truth. Still stood 10 toes down on truth. There was a time in here whenever Jeremiah was beaten, okay? He got beaten, and then he was put in stocks. And when he was released from the stocks, from the people who beat him, he had to go and look them in the face and say, I know that this is your name, but the Lord actually calls you terror on all sides, because what he's about to do to you because of the way that you are behaving is 10 times worse than what you could have just ever put me through. And so I'm just over here thinking about all of the people who do not think that the God that we serve would ever send somebody out to go and challenge people's ignorance. I don't understand what Bible we're reading if we are in agreement at all with the kind of God who wouldn't send out somebody to challenge principalities of a place that is turning a blind eye to sin. It does not make sense. Anybody making excuses for sin on the pretense of we should all be happy and follow our hearts. It literally talks about it in Jeremiah that those are the people that the Lord is saying that they are being put in trouble because they're saying follow your heart. Like, follow your heart, do what you want to do. That's literally the people that Jeremiah was sent to cause conflict. He said, woe is me, my mother, that you gave me birth, a man who incites dispute and conflict in all the land. I did not lend or borrow, yet everyone curses me. He's like, look, I'm out here doing the will of my Father, and everybody hates me. I'm causing chaos. But I have to do what the Lord told me to do. Like, oh, was I born for this? And Jeremiah wasn't about to disobey. Okay? And Jeremiah was commanded not to be a part of the lamenting or even offer sympathy to certain people because their condition was the desire of God for them to really have to. He didn't want him to sympathize with these people. He did not want Jeremiah to feel bad for the people that he was talking to because they chose it themselves. So being this kind of person that is like, he didn't have sympathy or empathize or da-da-da. There are places in the Bible where God tells you not to be, because why are we going to sit here and make excuses for people who are choosing to continue to be stubborn? Choosing to continue to be stubborn. It says it in the Word of God, okay? You can avoid course correction or extreme circumstances by surrendering and keeping your eyes on God, but the intended purpose of use can shift based on your stubbornness. If you become flawed in His hand, He can shift what you're used for. If you refuse to see truth. What was the word I looked up earlier? Deluded, deceived, fooled, and misled. He said, yet my people have forgotten me. They burn incense to worthless idols and that make them stumble in their ways on ancient roads and make them walk on new paths, not on the highway. Meaning that God created a space for all of us to walk, a direction for us to go, but they try to find these new ways to get around things. Yeah. All of these like new things that we just decided, yeah, you know what, actually it is okay to do this. We're not supposed to do this thing it says in the Word of God, but if I feel like it, I'm gonna do it because if I want to be, I'm not even, here's the word, obstinate. It's stubbornly refusing to change one's opinion or chosen course of action despite attempts to persuade one to do so. God kept sending Jeremiah to expose sin and bring correction to people who had been doing things wrong for generations, that had implemented principalities that were affecting the order of things that God had originally established. And when they were obstinate, okay, refusing to change one's opinion or chosen course of action despite attempts to persuade one to do so, okay, they were no longer qualified for the promises of God. Obedience was always required to produce the desired outcome. He gave them a choice, but he also sent out somebody, Jeremiah, to not sympathize with them and instead to sit and tell them what they were doing was wrong. Just straight frankly, too. Just, hey, this is what it is. You guys have been doing it this wrong. This is how a principality has been set in place, and we need to shift this. This needs to go. And the stubbornness of the people was the problem, not Jeremiah.